I believe we are live. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. It's your girl Cha Cha reporting live from the Money Mantra, and we are back with another Forex education video. Except today is a little bit different. We are going to be going live for the first time on YouTube. So, welcome if you are new or returning subscriber. You guys know that my goal is to help as many people as possible become independent and profitable traders. It doesn't matter if you are trading Forex or if you decide to trade binary options or stock options. I really just want to help people understand charts and become more profitable traders. Now, if you've been on my channel for some time, you know that I've pretty much been trading traditional Forex, but that's not how I started. I started out as a binary options trader in 2020, and now I just think is the best time to revisit it. One reason why I know a lot of people wonder why I transitioned from Forex to, why I transitioned from binary options to Forex is simply because I wanted to become a funded trader. And at the time, there was no binary options funding, at least that I knew. So I just transitioned. I became extremely good and profitable on that side. And now I'm back to revisit binary options, or as some people would like to call money in minutes, right? So that's what we're going to be going over today. We will be using the Pocket Option platform. If you don't have a Pocket Option account, that's perfectly fine. You can always just create a free account. I have the link. It should be down below this video. You should be able to create your free account, or you can do it at another time if you want to participate in future live sessions. Now, this session isn't going to be too long, but I just wanted to review the Pocket Option platform and let you guys know how to use it and what to expect when I do start to go live more consistently. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen, right? I've never went live on YouTube before, so I'm gonna attempt to share my screen. And I want you guys to just drop some sevens down below in the chat if you can see it. Sevens are going to be how we communicate. I'm always going to be asking you guys to drop things in the chat. If you are just joining, thank you so much. You guys can drop below where you are joining from, because I know I have viewers from literally all over the world. Last time I checked my analytics, the most place surprisingly was, well, not surprisingly, but it was the United States, followed by Nigeria. So if there's any Nigerians in here, what's up? I have a lot of Indians followers as well, people from India. So if you are reporting from India, say what's up. Hey, Vanessa, and hey, Spicy. Thank you so much to my moderators today. Because it's the first live, you guys probably won't have too much to do today. Hopefully, no crazies coming here, and this isn't a vertical live. But we're gonna try it out, and we're gonna see how it go. And if things go well, then we'll be back. Okay. Ooh, Los Angeles. Hey, Latanya. I got all my people in here, so thank you guys for coming today. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Y'all see how I did my hair for the live? But I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And if this is possible and y'all can see my screen, just go ahead and drop some sevens in the chat. It says I have to grant permission, so let me see. It's telling me I have to quit and come back, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to try this again. And we're just going to share this tab and let's see how that goes. So if you guys can see my screen, drop some sevens in the chat. I won't really be able to. Oh, I can see the chat actually. All right, so just let me know. I'll just have to go back and forth so I can see both tabs. So thank you. Thank y'all so much for being here today. Thank you, everybody who is just joining. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Cha Cha from The Money Mantra. I am a Forex educator. I've been doing this for about 5 years. I started with binary options, then I transitioned to traditional Forex. I started with binary options, then I transitioned to traditional Forex simply because I wanted to become a funded trader. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Rich. And thank you. So you guys should be able to see my screen, and I can see myself too. That's super cute. But here we go. Again, this is just going to be, since it's my first live on YouTube, we are going to get into how do you actually use this platform and the best way that you can. So first and foremost, like I said, if you don't have an account, you do want to go to pocketoption.com and create one, or you can just click the link down below in my bio. Now, on my sessions, just to give you guys a heads up, I will be only calling about 3 to 5 trades simply because I don't want people to over leverage or just do the most on the session. If you do want to take multiple trades, you will have the option to do that. And if you want to enter a trade more than once, you can do that. But please be mindful of your risk. This is quick trading. Now, one thing I like about Pocket Option, and I feel like I've been saying this on all of my videos, is that you can have a demo account which allows you to trade virtual funds, and you can see how the market is moving, and you can participate even before you make a deposit, just so that you get comfortable. So the sessions will go something like this. Firstly, I'll be telling you guys which asset we're going to be trading, and you can find that here on the left panel. So we're currently on gold OTC, but let's say I wanted to switch to Euro USD OTC or something else. I would just click here, and then I would simply search for it. On this session, we probably will just start with gold OTC, so you can keep it there if you already have it there. But if you wanted to go to something else, you would search it that way. Now, I'm going to trade pairs that I am comfortable with. Occasionally, I will ask you guys, do you have any suggestions or something that you want to trade? And we'll look at that just so I can show you how flexible this can be. You don't really have to stay tied down to one pair. I'm just a creature of habit, and I just like what I like. And the more that you follow me or watch my videos, you'll see that it's the same things repetitiously. So we're going to start with gold OTC. Now, for my chart, I'm going to have my candles forming anywhere from every 1 minute to 5 minutes. And the candles are these things you see on your charts. If you see a red candle, most likely I'll be calling out an idea for a sell. And if you see a blue candle, most likely I'll be calling out an idea for a buy. But something that's going to be extremely important that's going to help me find my entries, and that will eventually help you guys find your entries as well, is what type of candles are you using, or what is your chart type? Now, you do have the option to look at this like a line graph. I personally don't like the line graph if I'm going to be entering trades because I can't identify what the high and what the low is. If you guys can do that with the line graph, or you just feel more comfortable looking at this, then feel free to trade that way. You also have the traditional candles, which looks a little bit like how my chart first started. However, I'm going to be using Hakanashi candles for the session. Now, again, if you see red candles, that's letting you know that the sellers have control. Price has dropped from the top of that candle to the bottom of that candle. And if you're looking at a blue candle, then price will open at the bottom and close at the top. Choose bars. Honestly, this looks like Tetris. I've never used bars to trade, but it works the same way as a candle. You'll have your open, close, high, and low points. So if you like looking at Tetris style candles, then you can go ahead and use the bar. But these Hakanashi candles, and why you might find that you like it too, is Hakanashi candles are made up of averages. Now, I'm just going to switch back and forth between regular candles and Hakanashi candles so that you can see what I mean by that. If I'm looking at a Hakanashi candle, the market has a higher chance of continuing to do what you can already see that it's doing. Now, here we can see the market has been selling for some time, and all of these candles are red, right? Now, the only thing I'm going to change is my chart type, and I want you to see how the candles change and how that can be a little bit confusing or throw you off when you're trying to find entry points. So if you guys can see that these are all red and the market appears to be going down, just go ahead and drop some sevens in the chat. And then I'm going to switch back to candles, and let's pay attention to these last 4 candles falling under my EMAs. And we can see how it's either going to buy or it's going to sell. When you're quick trading like this, you just want to be as precise as possible. And I just like to trade with the trend. I really don't like to stress myself out because we're entering these trades for as little as 1 minute. We really want to be as thorough and have the most sniper entry as possible. So if you guys can see the difference between the regular candles and the Hakanashi, just go ahead and drop some sevens in the chat. And welcome if you are just joining. Please make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you subscribe if you make it to the end of this live. And also hit the notification bell so that you never miss when I go live, because we will be doing more sessions like this. This is more of a warm up and a little review. Now, after you get over your chart types and your candles, you can put indicators on your chart if you want. I'm going to be using my handy dandy 2 indicator strategy. One thing I like about pocket option is that you can have as many indicators as you want. If you want to use a throwback old strategy that I used to use called Sensei, it's in some of my older videos, but that strategy has 8 indicators. However, the more you move into your trading and the more comfortable you become, you're going to realize that you don't actually need so many indicators. You really just need to focus on support and resistance, right? Supply and demand, and break and retest. But once you get into quick trading like this, it's even less stuff to focus on, or you're going to be processing it at a much higher rate. And I hope that'll just make sense as we move throughout this session. I'm not going to keep you guys here all night, I promise. So the next thing that you can select is how long you actually want to be in your trades. Me personally, I started with 1 minute trades, and that's just where I feel the most comfortable. However, if you are looking at your chart on a higher time frame, right now I have my candles forming every 1 minute. But if you were going to increase it to something like the hour or the day, then you have the option to stay in your trade for 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 minute, or even 4 hours. Let's just say for some reason you want to look at your chart on the daily, right? You can take your entries for 4 hours. So by the time your entry comes, you should more than clear. One really cool thing about pocket option is that if you get in for a buy, you really only need to be 1 point above your entry. And if you get in for a sell, you only need to be 1 point above your entry to clear. Now, as we go through the session, if you make money, meaning that the trade goes in your favor, you can just know and we can celebrate together. And if you don't make money in a trade or it goes against you, you can just say you, because we don't take losses, we take lessons. All you can do is a quick recovery and get back in it. If you're going to be trading like this or doing any style of trading at all, I highly encourage you guys to work on your emotional control. You don't want to spaz out just because you don't want to be trading money that you don't have. So again, if you aren't ready to lose money, right, as quick as you can make money, use a demo account or trade smaller amounts. Now, if you're going to be trading OTC means you can literally trade 24/7. Once you come back to this panel over here, you'll see OTC next to the currencies, you'll see them next to the cryptocurrencies, and you'll see next to the commodities. But some stuff won't have OTC, which means that it's operating on regular market hours. One thing I like about Pocket Option is that you can trade 24/7. Some people like to use the excuse that, oh, I don't have time to trade, or I don't have money to trade. Well, if you have a demo account and you can make money in minutes, then I think that you have time to trade, right? Now, I do just like to do this little exercise with everybody anytime I start to trade binary options, because it's really interesting to see how much money you can make. So, firstly, I want you to think about what's the most money you've ever made in 1 hour, right? If your highest hourly pay was $30 an hour, you're going to go with that. If your highest hourly pay was $16 an hour, we're going to go with that. Now, I want you to take that number and I want you to divide it by at your current job or at your last job. And I want you guys to drop that number in the chat. Because the highest I ever made, I haven't had a traditional job, right? Since like 2020. And I was making $2 an hour plus like whatever commission or whatever. And when I divide that by 60, I get like 36 cents a minute. Now, some people think like, oh, I make $30 an hour. That's amazing. I make $40 an hour. In order to make more money at your job than pocket option, right, you would have to at least make more than $60 an hour, because you're gonna make more money per minute once I show you how to do this, right? So I want everybody to just drop the highest amount you've made per hour, divide that by 60, and drop how much you've the most you've ever made per minute. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. so that once we get into money in minutes, you can see how viable of a stream of income this could be for you. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the trade amount. You don't want to over leverage in your trades, which means you don't want to put all of your money into one trade. So let's just say that the most you want to risk for the entire day is $100. And you know that Cha Cha is going to be calling 3 to 5 trades per session. You're not going to want to risk more than $20 to $25 per trade. Because if you put $100 in that trade and you lose that trade in 1 minute, you're going to be tapped out for the day. But if you put $25 in a trade and you lose that trade, you still have about $75 to play with if you want to increase your risk in the next trade, or if you want to lower it so that you can take more trades or multiple entries, you should do that. I've been giving this disclaimer on every single video to let you know that you don't have to risk all of your money, right? You want to come into every single session, whether you're trading with me or you're trading with someone else or you're trading by yourself. You want to know how much you're willing to risk even before you start your session. That way, you don't come in here, you don't get trigger happy, you don't just start clicking buttons, you don't just risk all your money because you literally don't have to. So the payout is also going to be important because the payout lets you know exactly how much return you're going to get on your trade, and your risk amount is how much you have the potential to lose. So let's just say we enter this trade for $20 and the trade doesn't go in our favor. We are going to lose our initial investment of $20. But if the trade does go in our favor, we would get a payout of $37.60. And how do we get to this number? We get to this number by we get our risk amount back plus 88% of 20, which I'm assuming is $17.60, making our total potential payout $37.60, right? So we're going to focus on our profits for this session. And if you clear 3 trades at 88%, we know that we'll be making 1760 times 3 if we're using $20. Let's say you have a smaller account and you only want to risk $2, right? With a $2 risk, if the market goes in our favor, we would make $2 back plus $1.76, making the total payout $3.76. But if the market goes against us, we would lose our $2. So it's how much you're risking per trade, right? How much you're going to risk for the day, and what your potential payout is. Because in a type of goal, like I want to take 3 trades today, $10 in 1 hour, or I want to make whatever your current hourly is. I want to make $30 in 1 hour. Or on the other side, you may say, if I lose 3 trades, I'm done trading for the day, right? That's something that we're going to have to learn to do. It doesn't matter if we're quick trading. It doesn't matter if we are trading traditional Forex. We need to learn to sit on our hands once the market has either does what it's going to do and you made your goal or you made your risk for the day. So if everybody understands that, just go ahead and drop a 7 in the chat. I am going to start to give you guys some trade ideas, and it's going to be pretty simple. I'll give you an entry point, focus on the last 3 digits. Let me see what's happening with the chat. Oh, Spicy says she used to use the line graph. Yeah, it's just I feel like I'm so visual that the line graph is just so it just confuses me. Like I need to be able to see that low point. I need to be able to see that high point. Like that line graph is nice if you looking at a glance, but it's just really hard for me to trade that way. So we are going to get started. Like Spicy said, if you do clear a trade, you can just drop cleared in the chat. I'll know that money was made. And if you don't clear the trade, you can just drop L and we'll know that you took a lesson. Again, don't be upset. Another disclaimer, I'm not the best trader in the world, y'all, and I'm not the richest trader in the world, but I just love to share the information that I know and the skill that I have to help everybody else become more financially literate and independent. So I'm ready to see some blue faces in the chat as well. Like this is such a throwback and nostalgic feeling. But again, welcome if you are just joining, and we're going to come back over here. So again, right now I'm looking at gold OTC. Oh, currency pairs up here. If you have some currency pairs that you like to trade and you want to keep them up here, all you have to do is click it and then add it to your favorites, right? Let's say I wanted to add silver to my favorites. We can now see silver has popped up at the top. And I like having stuff up there just in case I'm in two trades at once. I can actually see both all the details of those trades. Um, so remember, if we're getting in for a sell, we only need to be 1 point below our entry to clear. If we're getting in for a buy, we only need to be 1 point above our entry to clear. Oh, last thing, I'm just when we get into a trade, I'll show you guys basically what the trade screen looks like. Last 3 digits. So we can currently see that this blue line is moving up and down. Price is at 3, 3, 8, whatever. I'm only going to be using the last 3 digits to call these trades. So I'll say something like when the market gets back to, this is an example, 7 7 blank, take a sell. Or I'll just say we can get in for a sell now and make sure you have the time on. The smallest time you can be in your trades is 5 seconds, and the highest time you can be in your trade is 4 hours. Go ahead and get started. I am going to be using simple support, resistance, and candlesticks to find these entries. We're not going to rush the session. If I don't see anything, I'm not going to say anything. But if you guys see an opportunity, feel free to take that trade. And again, thank you to everybody who is my first live stream on YouTube. It will be available for playback, and I'm going to I'll try out different days and times so I can see what works best for the audience. But for now, this is what we're going to be doing. So it looks like the market is pushing up right now, coming off of this strong selling trend. I don't really want to take that risk of getting in for a buy. I'm not going to rush it. And if you're using Hakanashi candles, it's going to be best to take our entries when we can see that the momentum is very strong, right? We don't want to take it on a doji candle like this because dojis are too indecisive. Like, let's just say we did decide to get in for a buy, the market's already going down. One thing I will tell y'all about this simple strategy I'm going to be using is if the candle most likely will be entering for a sell. So this market looks like it's going to continue drop down. I would say if it comes back up to around 773 or higher, maybe up to 765 or higher, we can take this trade for a sell. Or if you feel so compelled and you just can't wait, you can enter for a sell now. But I would just wait until it comes back up to the bottom of this candle or this candle. We're gonna look at 765 or higher. The new candle is about to. If it's red, we're gonna enter for a sell. So let's go for a sell, guys. And you guys can actually drop your entry points in the chat as well. I like to have my things up here is so that I can actually see what's happening in the trade. So right now I can see that the trade is not in profit. And based on this line right here, until this line gets all the way over here to know if this trade is going to close in profit or not. So we actually see the market coming back to that original entry point of 765 or higher. So if you want to take a sell up there, you can, because that was the. Go ahead and drop whatever your entry is in the chat and let me know if you clear or not. Again, this was a perfect example of why you should always wait for the entry and not just go and clicking buttons. I can see that I have 40 seconds or so left in this trade. I can see that the market is, but we do have until the timer runs out to know that if this trade is actually going to clear or not. So we're going to use 765 as the first valid entry point because that is the one I call. We don't want to rush into the trades. As long as the market is 1 point below entry by the time the time runs out, we will make money in this trade. This trade is looking like it maybe a loss, right? It may, but I was a little shaky. I was a little shaky with that trade, so just going shake that one off. We're going to take our first L and we're going to continue to work through the session. Now I'm going to wait because I see this candle only has 15. See more strong momentum. And if this market starts to push up and it gets confusing, then I will just look at something else. So you can just let me know. Vanessa says she sold at 769. No, Spicy sold at 769. Vanessa sold at 774. Yeah, it's looking like this trade is starting to reverse. And I'm not going to play around with that. So let's just wait and see what happens. Because I'm using 2 EMAs. And as you guys will see, whenever the candles are below both EMAs, we are going to take the trades for sells. Start to push up, we want to take the trades for buys. Another thing is that when this red line is on top, we will be taking sells. When the blue line is on top, we will be taking buys. But I don't really want to focus on buys yet until I see that the next candle will actually close above this, because we can see this is a little bit wicky. We're going to wait about 12 seconds and we're going to see what happens. Remember to monitor your risk, use low risk, just watch. Let me actually make that $20 because I feel like that's a little bit more realistic. All right, so we finally got that cross above the blue line has crossed above the red line. I would say if the market comes down back to 792 or lower, I'm not going to rush it. As we can see, the market will always come back down. So we're looking for 792 or lower to get in for that buy right now. So, okay, there we go. We got 791. And we're just going to see what happens. We still have about, I should have a full. I can see that the market right now is below my entry. In order for me to clear the buy, the market just needs to be 1 point above. And we still have 40 seconds left in this trade. Now, I do want to let you guys know that 2 options that you have, you can double up, which will increase your risk, but it'll only give you as much time that's left in the trade. Or you can, I don't know why rollover don't be coming up, but rollover simply just buys you more time in the trade. So I took my entry at 791. I did say 792 or lower. We're gonna see what happens. This one is 15 seconds left, and it's looking pretty close. Let's see if it pushes back up. Let me guys know what your entry was. Is getting gold is being a little wicky today. We may have to look at another pair because I don't want you guys to get discouraged just because gold is just being gold. So let's look at Euro USD. We're getting stronger momentum on Euro USD OTC. Once you guys are actually on Euro USD OTC, you can just drop a 7 in the chat so that I know that you are with me. So far, I have 2 losses and 1 win. Oh yeah, rollover is very time sensitive. I didn't even get a chance to see rollover, because I definitely would have rolled that trade over. Because sometimes you just miss it by a couple of seconds and it'd be like, okay. So we're looking at Euro USD OTC. If you guys are on this pair, just drop a 7. I see that Alicia's here. Thank you so much for participating. This time we are going to be entering for a buy. It's looking pretty strong. This momentum is here. My blue line is above. It hasn't really gotten low. I will enter for a buy, right? You can just enter. I'm gonna wait. Because this candle has 25 seconds left. We're gonna see if it pulls back to this second EMA. And we're going to see if support is broken or what actually happens with that. We have 12 seconds left on this candle. And again, if you guys see other opportunities outside of what is being called or you don't agree, you really don't have to take every trade that's in the session, right? So usually when candles are between 2 EMAs, I don't like to take the trade because the top is usually a resistance and the bottom is a support. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait a couple of seconds and see what happens. If you guys want to look at a particular currency or asset, just let me know in the chat and we can see what that's doing. And again, please just use a reasonable amount of risk in your trades so that even if you do take a loss, you are not too affected or your account doesn't take too big of a hit. All right, so Rich said he got in for 789 for a sell. Right now, you're not in profit, but we're going to see what happens. Euro USD is also OTC is acting a little bit wicky, but right now you currently would not be in profit. It is giving more buy signals just because these buy candles are so strong. And just a tip, whenever you see a doji candle, I simply just would not take that entry. So I would say if Euro USD comes back down to 805 or lower, you can get in for a buy. I wouldn't rush it. It should come back down to 805. We got 806. That was a quick. That one moving fast. So 806 or lower, let's get in for a buy. Okay, there we go. 806. So we got 806. We entered for a buy. If you guys caught that entry, if not, let me know what your entry is. I did increase my risk to $20. It was just on $2 for the example purposes, but I feel like most people can risk about $20 in this trade, so it's a little. If I open up my trade details, I can see that I have about a little over 30 seconds left. Again, in order for us to close 1 point above our entry, um, currently the market is at 831. We got in at 806. If this trade goes in our favor, we will make a profit of $18.40 in only 1 minute. So if you were able to catch the buy and you're currently in this trade, go ahead and drop whatever your entry point is in the chat. If you're in profit, if you're not in profit, and that trade was profitable, right? That trade was profitable. So we entered for a buy. We can see that that was actually really close. If you took it at 806, right, or lower, the lower the better when you're getting in for a buy. We can see that by the skin of our teeth, right? We actually cleared that trade. But that's just the nature of the market. Sometimes you'll be really close and you'll see the market do what you thought it was going to do after the fact. So Vanessa says she got in at 287. So it looks like you cleared. If you actually cleared that trade and you were able to take an entry for that last buy, just drop cleared in the chat. That was a really good win, right? So we are 2 losses, 1 win. We need another win to be even on the session. If you took another entry point and cleared, or you're on another pair and you're making money, just go ahead and let us know below. Now, one thing I do want to say about trading on style I'm going to be trading, as long as, and this strategy is pretty simple, guys. I just have two moving averages as my indicators. To add indicators to your chart, you can click the indicators tab. You can click whatever you want to add. I just have two moving averages. One is the 3, one is the 10. If you guys have watched other videos on my channel, you know that those are indicators that I used to use. Blue above would mean buy, and red above would mean sell. And I'll just scroll back on my chart some so that you guys can see that, right? If you see that the red line is above, or once it crosses over, you're pretty much going to be okay to take sells for that time, right? As long as you're seeing strong red momentum for sells and that red line is on top, you should be okay to take sells. As long as you see strong blue, well, the momentum for buyers isn't super strong right now. It's actually going through a lot of resistance. But if you do see strong blue candles like this and the blue line is on top, you have a higher probability to clear your buys. So just checking in on the last trade. Spicy says she got in late, but she cleared by 3 pips. That's awesome. I'm glad you're clearing, Rich. I'm glad you cleared, Vanessa. All right, see, we're getting some strong momentum on this blue candle. I don't really want to rush and get in for a buy, but I also don't want to miss the momentum if you see something like that. So we can say that if the market comes back down to the blue EMA, which is about 838 or lower, that would be a potential entry for a buy, 838 or lower. But if it continues to push up with this strong momentum, you guys can pretty much click buy and just let me know when you get in, what your entry point is, and if the trade clears, because it looks like it wants to continue to push up. I think if it comes back to 865, it could turn around. But we did actually get back to our EMA. So I will take another buy and I will see what happens. And it's simply because the momentum on that candle is strong and I do have my buy confirmations. I do still have a minute left in the trade. And I'll actually show you guys how the rollover works. So if I click, we can see my current risk is $20. If I do click rollover, my risk is going to double, but I will have more time in the trade. So I'm just confirming this for example purposes. Now, I did have 32 seconds left in this trade, but now I have a minute and 30 seconds left in this trade. Now, just because you click rollover, that doesn't necessarily is now automatically going to go in your favor, but it does buy you some more time. If you guys take a lower entry down here, the market could potentially push back up. However, if the next candle opens below this red line, then Euro USD could be turning around for a sell. I do have a minute left in this trade. That could be too long, especially it could be a waste of time if the trade actually doesn't turn around and go in my favor. Another option that you guys have, I'm not saying to do this now, but see, look, now we're selling. So if you held out, you saw the resistance, awesome. Our next trade idea is going to be a sell just because that is the direction that the market is now going in. Now, this market is moving so fast because we're literally analyzing it on a 1 minute time frame. Sometimes you just have to slow down and see what's going to happen. For this trade, I literally should have just used my intuition and went for a sell, but I didn't do that. So it's looking like I'm going to take a loss. You can guys let me know how this trade turns out for you, because we're now getting the next trade idea is going to be a sell, and we're going to see what happens because it looks like that momentum is picking up on the selling side. Now, I actually don't mind that we're taking losses on this simply because it's just all practice. You guys can see in real time that I'm walking you through the trades and sometimes they just don't work out, right? So we're going to be looking for sells this time. I'm and resistance, looking at the EMAs. I'm going to be looking for a sell at this line is around 780 or higher. Again, if you take your trades lower, you could clear, you could not clear, but I like to wait for it to push up, right? I like to wait for it to push up. And I'm not going to be on here too long, right? I'll probably will just call out a few more trades. I'll probably just go and make money. You can lose money. Hopefully everybody walks a profitable session. But we're going to see what happens. I'm going to wait for this to come back up. And I'm not going to lie, y'all. It's been a long time since I traded live, right? Here, right? Follow me on TradingView. But Spicy says she took a sell at 782. Awesome. That was a really good call. Sometimes you got to use your intuition. Like I literally said out loud, I should probably not get into this buy right now and still took a buy. And that'll happen sometimes, right? That'll happen sometimes. So we are waiting for, I forgot the entry point, y'all. Let's just not call it valid. We're going to see what happens because we're getting a little wiki down here. But I still feel like I'm gonna get in for a sell. But I'm just gonna wait to call out another entry point. And hopefully you guys can understand what I'm saying and you can see what I'm doing so that you take your own trades, right? That's the whole purpose of this, is to help you become an independent and profitable trader. If you are just joining, thank you for coming today. All right, thank you for coming to the session today. Just drop where you are watching from. Drop what is your favorite currency pair, right? What is your favorite style of trading? So I'm just gonna wait. Just gonna wait. These candles not big body like I need them to be. I'm gonna take a peek back at. I'm just seeing what's going on here. Yeah, so nothing is looking strong. I'm not going to take. Nothing is looking strong. Like I need. Like imagine if you would have gotten for a buy right here. Like it's just not strong enough. Anytime you see a candle with a small body, you just want to hold off, right? You don't really want to rush into the trade because the opening and closing is so close that it, like look at that, right? So we're going We going. I'm looking something else, right? I'm not. Don't go to JPY yet, y'all. I'm just looking. Another candle is about to start in 1 minute. A lot of trading is waiting too. It's just waiting to see something that look good. So I see a big body on this candle, but I see a lot of wicks. So again, I'm not going to rush that. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Our Spicy says she's coming from Delaware. She trades BTC USD. Let me know what you guys trade in the chat. And she do intraday and swing trading. Yeah, I've transitioned from trading like quick trading like this to trading um swing trading. Like I don't mind staying in my trades for some time. Like this is actually a throwback trading 1 minute. All right, she said she got into a buy at 768 and clear. Awesome. All right, guys. So we can actually look at GBP JPY OTC because it looks like it wants to continue to sell. Anytime you find yourself on the chart, you can just go ahead and enter for that sell, or you can wait for it to retrace to 677 or higher. All right, so there we go. I got in pretty high. 677 or higher was the put. I was about to say was the call, but call is buy, put is sell. So I entered for that GBP JPY OTC trade at 698. The entry point was 677 or higher, and we can see that that thing dropped really quickly. However, JPY pairs tend to be extremely wicky, so I'm not going to get excited because this can look. You see, this can very easily turn into a blue candle. I do have 30 seconds left in this trade, so I'm just going to wait and see what happens. But hopefully it continues to push down and we do clear because I just see, look, this you literally have until the timer runs out to see if the trade is going to be in your favor, and this trade is just moving too fast. It doesn't look like it's going to be clear. Guys, I'm really sorry for all of these losses today. We can see the 7 o'clock may just not be a good time to trade. Like I don't want to take so many losses. And I think I probably reached my max for calling trades for today. So it looks like this is everything I did today, y'all. I was just literally in here trading. Y'all see these crazy numbers over here. And I think we started with gold. One, two. I don't know if that was the same trade. That's the same trade. One, two, three, four, five. So five trades, four losses, one win. That's really not good. So I think I'm at my max for the day. If you guys want to continue to trade, you definitely can. Or if you want me to go till 8 p.m. just to continue to see how it works and see if we can get some wins, just let me know in the chat. But again, like I said, you need to have discipline and know when to stop trading. But it looks like you guys cleared. You can drop your record so far in the chat, what you have, right? Because I have four losses, one win. I can see how much, but overall, it just was not a well, this trade was an example, a double up example, but you guys can let me know what you want to do. This was not my best work at all. But I will be back and we will. All right, well, Spicy says she doesn't mind staying, so I will continue to call out some trades until the end of the session. So we are getting some. We want to go back to gold OTC. I will be looking for buys. Pretty much, like I said, if the blue line is above the red line, you can take the trade for a buy, especially if you see strong momentum on the candle. But you do want to wait for it to at least push back a little bit, push down a little bit before it push back up, because you can really miss the trade by 1 point just by having the wrong entry. Like, do we see how far this one is going up? But again, we're not going to rush it. I just would still wait for it to push back down, or at least wait for the next candle to form to see what's going to happen. Hopefully we get a blue candle. All right, 3 wins, 2 losses. That's not bad. 2-2. That's not bad. Maybe I need to trade at a different time of the day, but we'll test out different times and stuff, and we'll see what happens. All right, so gold is still looking pretty bullish. Again, this is another wiki pair. It can definitely just drop out of nowhere. But I want to wait till it at least comes back down to, I don't know if it's going to come all the way back down to 826. But if it does come back down to 826, we can get in for a buy. Or let me see another potential entry. If it comes back down to 839, it's moving so fast. If it comes back down to 839 or lower, we can get in for a buy. Or if you just feel comfortable, oh, there we go. Um, and we are going to see what happens. So I risk $20 in this trade. If the market does not go in my favor, I will be losing $20. If it does go in my favor, I will be walking away with $37.60. So we can see up here the trade is in profit, but you have until the timer runs out. So I never get too excited about trades unless that thing really takes off and we are in deep profit. Then I'm like, okay, cool, I'm happy about that. But if it's so close like this, it's like I can't really get excited, especially with JPY pairs and pairs like gold, because again, they do get extremely wicky and they can go from being 40 pips in profit to negative 50 pips in profit. So at least until the timer runs out, we have that much time to. I don't want to enter again. I wish I could have rolled over. This is looking like another loss. Watch, the next candle is just going to shoot up and go right above the entry, because that literally always happens. But guys, don't let this session turn you off from trading this way. The point is that you can make money. You just have to have the right entry point. Some people are able to come in and win back to back to back. Some people will win and then lose and then win and then lose. Some people will take consistent losses, but as long as your wins outweigh your losses at the end of the day, then you should be fine. Um, I actually have the trade history here because I wanted to show you guys that as well. Like, just look at these trades. So in this trade, I risked $2,600 and I had a zero return. And this trade, I risked $5,100, had a zero return. And this trade, I risked $10,200 with a zero return, just to come back on the next two trades, and they wiped out all of my losses. So it's just really a matter of being patient with yourself. It's just a matter of taking your time to find your entries, finding the right time to trade. I usually don't trade at 7 o'clock p.m. That's not an excuse. This market is open 24/7, but I'm just saying it takes a matter of analysis. It takes a matter of trading at the right time, knowing the asset that you're trading. So we're going to try again. I typically find the most success personally for myself trading at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. if I'm doing binary options. But this was just the first live. I will be back next Monday and we will continue to trade. If you guys want to practice on your own, I do have a binary options playlist and you'll be able to see the results in those videos. Those videos are pretty much unedited and undoctored. So the results you see are the results that I get. However, this just was not a profitable trading session. And we're just going to walk away with our heads held high. We're going to go in and continue to practice. You can drop your final score from the trading session down below. Spicy said, oh, buy at 839 or lower. Vanessa said she got in for 834 and clear. Okay, see, look, everybody didn't have the same results that I had for the session. You guys can drop what you got. I have, and I'm transparent with y'all too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I think I started with $2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. So I had 6 losses, 1 win. Y'all can let me know how y'all did for the session. But yeah, y'all, my first live stream, I think it went okay. I think tutorial was nice. I think the trading session was boo-boo. We definitely could have did better. I will be back trading on Wednesday nights. I'll be trading within my community, so we'll try again. And then I think I'll come and do another live on YouTube on Thursday because yeah, y'all, I'm not afraid to lose because I know I can get it back. I'm actually going to about to go look at TradingView and enter my swing trades for the week, and I will be posting those on TradingView. So if you want to follow those, you can see. You can also check out my live wins and losses playlist on on YouTube because I do review all my trades for better or for worse. I think that I've mastered emotional control for the most part when it comes to trading. So losses really don't affect me. And at the end of the day, if you were managing your risk properly, then you shouldn't really be mad about your losses because you came in mentally prepared, knowing what you were willing to lose. Rich said this was great. Oh, thank you, Rich. This is the first live of many. I know that you joined the community. So I typically go live in the community on Sundays at 6 o'clock p.m. And I'm just getting acclimated with YouTube. So thank you, Spicy, for letting everybody know to hit the notification bell and to subscribe to the channel. Um, yeah, I told you guys I'm not the best trader or the richest trader. I'm just sharing what I know. I did walk through all of the steps of every single trade that I took. And if you took it, it's because it also made sense to you. No pressure there. So Rich final was 3 wins, 2 losses. Vanessa, 3 losses, 4 wins. Spicy, if you're still here. What was your final score? And anybody else that's still here. But I really just want to thank you guys for coming and spending some time with me today. Next time will be better. That's just the mindset that we will have. I will post this live and everybody probably gonna be eating me up in the comments, but that's fine, right? That's perfectly fine. Um and yeah, if you guys have any time suggestions on what's a better time to go live, what's a better trade that you pair that you want to trade, you can let me know and we will try that out. But ours 5-3. So it looks like you guys had a more profitable session than me. I know y'all have been trading this way and y'all are comfortable with it. So yeah. But unless y'all have any questions or comments or concerns for me, I'll give y'all about 30 seconds. That is really all I have for you today. Yeah, it is pretty realistic, but that's all, guys. See you later.